when millions of aliens invade Earth and wipe out humanity in a matter of seconds, 4 teens from a summer camp find themselves the world's last hope. Humanity has no idea, an alien invasion has already begun. In the far reaches of space, a massive extraterrestrial warship ambushes a human spacecraft. Major Collins, the last surviving crew member, scrambles to pinpoint the enemy's location and send the intel back to Earth before it's too late. Everyone else is dead, but she's determined to complete her mission, no matter what. Every second makes it harder. One of the alien monsters has already boarded the ship. Back on Earth, we meet Alex, a typical teenager who spends most of his time behind a screen. His mom, worried he's isolating himself, decides it's time for a change and drops him off at a summer camp dramatically named The Edge of the World. There, he meets Daryush, the flashy son of a rich car dealer, and Zhen, a quiet girl from Shanghai hiding behind a fake family connection to get into the U.S. Alex is still reeling from his father's death in a house fire and struggles to leave the safety of home. At camp, he instantly falls for Zhen, and his mom, thinking this getaway is just what he needs, gives him a warm and cheerful goodbye in front of everyone, leaving Alex mortified. Trying to prove himself, Alex climbs the camp's zipline platform, but his fear of heights gets the best of him. The other kids mock him and call him a coward, deepening his sense of isolation. That night, he spots Zhen on a bridge, but despite his feelings, he's too nervous to approach her. The next morning, the campers head out in 2 vans to a new riverside site. They're supposed to canoe down a rocky stream, but technical issues delay the launch. As everyone waits, Alex sees Zhen slip away into the forest, alone. Concerned, he follows her, even though he's afraid and unsure if they'll find their way back. His fear is real, but his worry for her is stronger. Zhen is searching for a hidden spot from the camp brochure, and she finds it. The landscape matches perfectly, and she lights up with joy. Just then, Alex's phone rings. It's his mom. Embarrassed to be seen as dependent in front of the others, he declines the call. He's trying to prove, mostly to himself, that he's growing up. Later, Daryush tries to help Alex conquer his fear of heights by leading him to the edge of a cliff by a waterfall and telling him to look down. Alex is terrified. Right then, Gabriel, a local boy who lives nearby, steps in and tells Daryush to back off. Daryush, not used to being challenged, lashes out, but Gabriel doesn't hesitate. One clean punch and Daryush is on the ground. Gabriel quickly realizes the 3 teens have wandered too far into the woods to find their way back on their own. He offers to guide them, just as strange explosions echo in the distance. Moments later, their phones light up with an emergency alert. Martial law has been declared, and civilians are being urged to evacuate major cities immediately. Realizing they need to regroup with the others, the teens follow Gabriel to the riverbank, only to find the camp counselors have already evacuated the other kids, and completely forgotten about Alex, Daryush, and Zhen. Looking up, they see flashes in the upper atmosphere. Alex, thinking fast, suspects what they're witnessing is the beginning of an alien invasion. Panic sets in as they realize they're on their own, and the cell signal's gone. The nuclear blasts have triggered a massive electromagnetic pulse, knocking out power and communications across the region. Even the sun looks strange now, casting a sickly yellow hue across the sky. As fighter jets scream overhead, the group knows one thing: this is serious. And they can't stay here. Bears and predators roam these woods. The 4 teens hike back to camp, but it's deserted. A notice flapping in the wind reads, "Evacuation in progress, everyone has moved down the mountain. If you're still here, call the police and wait for rescue." The only person they find is Conrad, a slacker who somehow slept through the entire evacuation. Too drunk to help or even wake up, he's useless. The group begins assessing what's left, checking food, water, and any equipment they can find. Then, more explosions. They rush outside and see it. A massive aerial battle raging above. Sleek American fighter jets dogfight with alien ships in a sky lit by chaos. It's no longer a theory, millions of extraterrestrials are attacking Earth. Humanity is on the brink. The teens race to find shelter, but a huge blast erupts nearby, knocking them off their feet. Moments later, a jettisoned escape pod slams into the ground right next to them. Gabriel tries to open the hatch, but it's glowing red hot. They pour water on the handles, cooling them down just enough to trigger the release mechanism, and the hatch blows open. Inside, they find a wounded woman in a space suit, Major Collins. She's badly hurt and barely conscious, but manages to explain. She must reach the Jet Propulsion Laboratory 70 miles away. She's carrying a key that must be delivered to Dr. Fielding. It's their only chance to activate Project Excalibur, a last resort weapon that can destroy the alien command ship controlling the invasion. Knowing she won't make it, Major Collins entrusts the mission to the teens. Time is running out. The fate of the world is now in their hands. At the same time, an unknown, amorphous entity begins to emerge from the ship, slowly transforming into a massive alien with 4 arms. The alien attacked the capsule while it was still in space and managed to break in, but didn't have time to kill Major Collins. Now, it has made its way to Earth with her, surviving, thanks to tissue regeneration, all to prevent the alien invasion from being stopped. The creature attacks the woman and brutally kills her, then detaches part of its body, which morphs into an alien hunting dog. Realizing they're in danger, the 4 friends try to flee and hide in the camp's dining hall. The dog tracks them using only its hearing and sight, allowing Alex, Zhen, and Gabriel to hide nearby. Daryush hides in another location and, at one point, makes a mistake by dropping spoons and forks. The alien dog immediately attacks him, but the others manage to lure it into a trap and lock it in an industrial oven. Meanwhile, the alien enters the dining hall, chasing them to get the key and deny humanity its last hope for survival and victory in this war. Alex, Gabriel, Daryush, and Zhen are 4 terrified teens who have no idea what to do. In their panic, they split up, with Gabriel and Daryush hiding under the stairs in one of the cabins, while Alex and Zhen take cover in a public restroom. The monster checks every building but doesn't notice the teens hiding under the stairs. Realizing their hiding spot isn't great, Zhen suggests a desperate but necessary move, jumping into the biological waste. The teens are forced to take cover in the sewage system, when suddenly they notice someone approaching the restroom. The crazy person turns out to be the revived Conrad, who knows nothing about the alien invasion. The alien immediately attacks Conrad and kills him, while Gabriel and Daryush leave their hiding spot to try and save their friends. The situation intensifies by the second, as the alien hunting dog finds an exit through the chimney and is free again. It begins chasing the teens, driving them toward the spacecraft's cabin. Daryush and Gabriel manage to climb into the cabin and lock the door from the inside, but their friends are still in danger, and the monster and its dog are nearby. Zhen and Alex want to join them, but the others are arguing, trying to figure out how to open the door. At one point, they accidentally activate the jet engine, which helps them destroy the alien hunting dog. Daryush, the self-absorbed show-off, calls himself the hero, but the others don't argue, because at the end of the day, the result is what matters. 4 teenagers try to escape the scene, but the enraged alien catches up with them. Using all of its arms, it captures the group and drenches them in an unknown black liquid. It seems like their days are numbered and the monster is about to kill them, but a fighter jet swoops in, launching an aerial strike and shooting the alien. The group manages to escape and hide, but tensions begin to rise between the boys. They don't know what to do next, or if anyone can help them. Frustrated by their empty chatter, the strong-willed Zhen slaps all 3 of them, then suggests they carry out Major Collins' last request. They must deliver the key to the base, but the teens know they're not up to such a difficult task. Trying to keep things simple, they decide to descend from the mountains into the nearest city and hand over the key to the adults so they can stop the alien invasion. The quickest way down is by bike, but it turns out that Alex is a computer nerd who's never ridden one before. Time is running out, so the others quickly agree to teach him how to ride. When they start the descent, Alex manages to ride on his own, but his overconfidence leads to an accident. He's unharmed and ready to continue, but the group realizes that the city they're heading to has been attacked by aliens and is nearly destroyed. At the same time, the alien monster regenerates its cells and begins hunting the 4 teens again. A few minutes later, Alex, Zhen, Daryush, and Gabriel arrive in the city and head toward the police station. Due to his secrets and legal troubles, Gabriel refuses to go inside, promising to wait outside. Alex senses that Gabriel is hiding something, probably involving breaking the law, but he trusts him. Inside, Daryush finds the last police report before they abandon the building. Europe and Asia are completely destroyed, and 99% of humanity is wiped out. They are among the few survivors, with nowhere to run. Meanwhile, Alex and Zhen explore the building. At one point, Alex meets a prisoner whom the police had captured just before fleeing. The man, named Lu, begs to be released, claiming he hasn't done anything terrible. Zhen believes they have no right to condemn him to death, but Daryush doesn't trust the stranger, thinking he's a dangerous criminal. Alex hesitates but learns that Lu has a son. Torn by his own tragic experience with his father, Alex leaves the cell keys and lets Lu go when they leave. The group continues their search for any adults and suddenly encounters the US Army. The soldiers believe the kids don't belong here, but they call them true heroes when they learn about Major Collins' key. The soldiers offer the teens immediate evacuation, sending them on a bus escorted by several armored vehicles. It seems like humanity is saved, and the teens' dangerous mission is over, but the aliens attack the convoy and destroy most of the transport. Alex, Daryush, Gabriel, and Zhen escape from the damaged bus and notice the soldier to whom the key was passed. He's trapped under an armored vehicle, doomed to die, and asks Alex to complete the task on behalf of the adults. Now, the fate of humanity lies in the hands of the 4 teens, and only they can deliver the key to the rocket propulsion lab and give it to Dr. Fielding. As soon as the children flee, the aliens completely destroy the convoy and kill all the US soldiers who were escorting the valuable cargo. San Gabriel Valley, 41 miles to the lab. After covering about a third of the journey, the teens find themselves in a nearby town. They try to make sense of the alien attack and the strange behavior of the invaders, but Alex isn't focused on that. He made a promise to a fallen soldier to complete the mission, and now he's determined to follow through at any cost. Alex had always been a coward, but now he finally has the chance to prove he's more than that and face any challenge to fulfill a greater purpose. Gabriel can't hold back his tears as he finds himself back in his hometown, but he knows he can't go home. He escaped from a juvenile detention center, and his mother refuses to see him. As night falls, the teens take shelter, and Gabriel opens up about his past. When he was 10, he lost his father and had to start working. He struggles to remember numbers unless they're written down, which led to him accidentally overcharging a customer. This caused a huge scandal and accusations of theft, and when he punched the customer and broke his jaw, his mother disowned him and lost her job. She blamed Gabriel for ruining her life. Daryush, Alex, and Zhen Zhen comfort their friend, and they snap a group photo together. Later, they settle down to sleep, but they're faced with an awkward dilemma. There are 4 of them, but only 2 beds. Zhen Zhen suggests one of the guys could sleep next to her, but they need to decide who that will be. Noticing the sparks between her and Alex, Gabriel jokingly suggests they send him over. Once Alex finds himself next to Zhen Zhen, he becomes visibly nervous, fiddling with a Rubik's Cube. To calm him, she gently takes his hand, relieved that it's him who's beside her. Hours later, they're jolted awake by the sound of loud explosions. Realizing the aliens are closing in, they quickly leave the shelter and set off, only to run into a group of looters wearing terrifying masks. Several armed men pose a threat just as serious as the aliens, but their leader, Lu, stands out. He has no son and is a hardened criminal, but he's willing to let the teens go if Alex hands over the key. Lu knows it's the only weapon that can stop the aliens and could be sold for a fortune, but Alex refuses. He won't abandon the mission and is ready to risk his life to protect the key. The teens are cornered, but just then, a monster appears and attacks the looters, ripping them apart. Seizing the opportunity, the group tries to flee, only to find themselves trapped by a high fence with no way out. Realizing they have no other choice, Gabriel decides to make the ultimate sacrifice. He stands at the edge of a pool, luring the monster into the water using a taut tarp as a trap. Miraculously, it works, and they manage to temporarily eliminate the alien, giving them a brief window to continue their journey toward the lab. East Los Angeles, 12 miles to the lab. The group begins to suspect that the monster is hunting them specifically. The reason doesn't matter, but they need to figure out how the alien is tracking them. Thinking it might be their scent, they head to a mall to change clothes. Before they do, Daryush and Gabriel have a confrontation. Daryush has been acting like a spoiled billionaire's son, but now, for the first time, he admits that his father is bankrupt and in prison, and he's struggling to cope with it. He doesn't know who he is anymore and has been using insults as a defense mechanism. After talking it through, the group resolves their past issues and continues on their journey. After changing, Alex tries to talk to Zhen Zhen to understand why and how she ended up in this situation. She sees herself as an orphan, as her parents wanted a son and treated her terribly. A brochure featuring a mountain landscape inspired her to run away to the U.S. But now, the only thing she truly values is her friends. They set out again, but soon notice a Ford Mustang nearby. Realizing it's better than their bikes, they decide to take the car. Alex doesn't know how to drive a manual transmission, but Zhen Zhen is ready to take the wheel. The ride to the lab feels like a brief break, but it doesn't last. The monster finds them again and attacks. Zhen Zhen manages to shake it off for a moment by crashing into a bus stop, but the alien is too resilient and fast. Realizing they can't escape, the teens jump out of the car, sending it off the bridge. The car lands on the monster, temporarily immobilizing it, but Alex realizes he left the key in the car. He suggests going back for it, but it's too dangerous. The monster could kill them. Deciding to risk his own life, Daryush climbs down and retrieves the key. Just when they think it's over, the monster severely wounds him, but he manages to escape. Pasadena, less than 2 miles to the lab. Zhen Zhen confesses her love to Alex and asks him to kiss her, but he doesn't understand Chinese. When they first met, Alex had spoken to her in Chinese, and she assumed he would understand her confession. With the mission still their focus, the group pushes on toward the lab and searches for Dr. Fielding. They find him, but it's too late, he's dead. They thought he was transmitting a signal on the radio, but it turns out it was just blood dripping from his hand. With no hope for rescue, the teens decide to find their parents if they're still alive, but Zhen Zhen has nowhere to go. Alex stays by her side, and they all agree not to abandon each other. A moment later, they hear a man's voice and rush to the control room. It turns out to be a general from the operations command. He could stop the alien invasion with the key, but he doubts the kids can help. Alex steps up as leader, declaring they're ready to fight and will do whatever it takes. The key holds data showing the location of the alien ship's command center. Their mission is to go to the basement, activate the generators, then climb to the roof and set up the antenna, so they can launch Excalibur and stop the aliens. Zhen Zhen heads to the basement to start 3 generators, using a countdown and mechanical watch from Alex's deceased father. As she tries to open a door, she encounters a hunting dog that's torn apart the last surviving scientist. She fights off the monster's attack and hides behind a metal door. Meanwhile, Gabriel and Daryush stay at the control station to prep the equipment. Daryush occasionally passes out but writes numbers in his own blood to help his forgetful friend open the safe containing the nuclear launch keys. Alex takes on the most dangerous task, climbing to the roof to overcome his fear of heights. As he reaches the antenna, he notices the monster has found him again and is chasing him. Alex manages to adjust the antenna and narrowly escapes by sliding down the wire like it's a ride. Gabriel keeps working on the equipment but needs help. Daryush has passed out again, but Zhen Zhen has escaped her trap and is ready to finish the setup. The monster breaks into the lab, and Alex decides to risk his life to draw the creature's attention to him. With the precious time he's bought them, Daryush, Zhen Zhen, and Gabriel finish setting up the nuclear weapon in space and initiate the countdown. Realizing the lab is about to collapse, the trio runs, hoping Alex can escape too. At that moment, Alex enters the rocket development section and decides to use the rocket engine's fire to destroy the monster. He manages to incinerate the alien, but he's terrified of fire due to a childhood trauma. Seeing the ghost of his father, Alex overcomes his fear and escapes the lab alive. Zhen Zhen kisses him, and the group watches as the alien ship is destroyed. The 4 teens have stopped the invasion, earning recognition and fame for their bravery. Is heroism a deliberate choice, or is it born out of desperation and a sense of hopelessness? The teens act on pure instinct, with no preparation or backup. But does that make their actions less meaningful, or does it make them more authentic? Share your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.